Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to read a book called Build, Beaver, Build! Life at the Longest Beaver Dam. Imagine a dam made of sticks and mud so long it's big enough to be photographed by satellites from space. This dam exists in the Wood Buffalo National Park in Alberta, Canada. It's 2788 feet long, and it's getting longer every year. That's because the builders are beavers, and one beaver family after another has lived there and added onto it, year after year for many years. Scientists believe beavers have been building on the dam since the 1970s, based on evidence from aerial photos of the area. They believe the dam has lasted so many years and become so long because the land is flat, so water soaks in and doesn't flood the destructive force. Old parts of the pond may become overgrown with plant life, but the dam remains. I was intrigued to learn about that dam and to think about the beaver families, one after another, living and working on it. Let's have a look at this dam together. The moon is so bright on this June night that the pond water gleams. A beaver nit floats near his family's lodge. The softball-sized male is just 3 weeks old. His 3 sisters are asleep inside the lodge, but he's hungry and wants to nurse. So he whines for his mother. Meow up, meow up. The kid's mother is nearby, resting on top of the family dam. The dam, built from sticks and mud, stretches all the way across one side of the pond. Another beaver family built the first part long ago. When they died, a new beaver family moved in, tending the dam and making it longer. Later still, another beaver family did the same. Now, it's the kids' family's home, but the smells of old wood and mud mixed with fresher scents hint at its history. The little male kid is swimming toward his mother when a shadow covers him. He looks up to see an owl swooping down. Diving is the kid's only chance. He does it just in time. Then paddling hard, he swings back to the lodge's entrance tunnel. The lodge in the pond behind his family's dam is the best place to stay safe from hungry hunters, at least while he's so small. At 8 weeks old, the male kid is football-sized and rarely nurses anymore. Now he feeds nightly at the surface of the pond. Sometimes his parents fold up leaves for him and his sisters to eat. More often, he feeds himself. He also gnaws on tough stuff, like cattails. He was born with big front teeth that never stops growing, so he needs to wear them down to keep them just the right length. When he's not eating or resting or watching out for an attack, he sneaks up on his sisters. The game soon turns to wrestling. Pushing, rolling, tumbling, the kids grow stronger as they play. Usually, when the sky turns rosy with light, the beavers go inside their lodge to sleep all day. But today, the adults stay ashore a little longer, pushing up dirt piles. The male kid mimics his mother and pushes up a mound too. When he follows her as she walks over what she built, squirting out a smelly liquid from glands at the base of her tail. A few nights later, a male beaver arrives, sniffs, and keeps on going. Clearly, there's a message in the scent mounts. Stay away! This is our family dam. Dry summer days follow dry nights. This summer is the driest in years. Streams shrink, then disappear. At last, the only water around is the pond behind the family dam. Even there, the water is so shallow, deer have to wade in to drink. Bam! The loud noise is a surprise in the quiet night. The otter stops. The sister dives, swims into the lodge, and stays safe. Hunters like wolves and bears come to drink too. Mother and Father Beaver watch them closely. When an otter tries to sneak up on one of the male sisters, Mother slaps her tail on the water. On another evening, a Canada goose lands on the pond. It hunks and hunks and hunks until the male kid tail slaps the water. Splat! His thin little tail makes more splash than noise. Still, it's enough to make the goose fly away, but not before it nips the male kid's back. No doubt, it would be better to be bigger. Lucky for the kid, he keeps getting bigger all summer long. The more roots, stems, and leaves he eats, the more he grows and grows and grows. By the time the days are cooler, the rains return at last. Water fills the pond again. Now the kid is big enough to practice working. So each night, he picks up sticks the way his parents do and carries them one by one to the lodge or the dam to help with repairs. But the kid never goes very far before he drops his load. Then he rests and nibbles on the stick's tender bark. One night, the young male follows his parents to the very end of the dam. A whisper of running water is slipping around the dam's lodge, carrying away bits of the sticks and mud. The kid helps his mother and father drag sticks into the water at the end of the dam. The beavers work until the water is blocked. And for the first time, the kid helped make the long family dam a little longer. When the nights turn cold, the twigs no longer taste of sap, and the beaver parents work harder than ever, toppling trees and gnawing off branches. They drag these down to the pond bottom. Slowly, they build a tangled mound outside the lodge entrances. It's the family's winter food supply. The male kid and his sisters sometimes add sticks to the food pile, but just as often, they steal one to snack on its tasty bark. Winter storms arrive. Snow blankets the land. Ice crusts the pond. Snug inside their lodge, the beavers rest and eat. Now 1 year old, the young male sometimes feeds on branches his parents tuck inside, but other times he swims out to the pile of sticks and brings in food for his family. One moonlit night, on his way to the food pile, the young male discovers a thin spot in the ice. He headbutts it until he makes a hole. Then he crawls out. A breeze brings a hint of something budding, so he waddles ashore in search of fresh food. But before he goes very far, a hungry coyote charges out of the bush. The beaver hurries across the ice back to open water. The coyote grabs him by the tail, but the beaver yanks free, and the tail smacks the water. Bam! The coyote backs up, startled. the young beaver is big enough to make a loud noise, and he escapes. The nights grow warmer until creaking and snapping. The pond's ice roof breaks into pieces. Now the air is ripe with the scent of budding aspens and leafy willows. Sometimes after the young male eats his fill, he drags home a branch for his new baby brother and sister to nibble. Over the winter, the beaver family has grown another generation bigger, and the year-old male and his sisters have much to do. They are dam builders in training as well as babysitters. One day, all of these skills will help the young beavers raise families of their own. It will be another year before the young male leaves home. But when he does, he'll claim a spot nearby where flowing water can be easily blocked. There, with a mate, he'll build a dam and change the world, at least part of it, into the perfect place to raise a beaver family. At the end of this book, the author has left a special note. Beavers are second only to humans in making major changes to their world. They cut down trees, opening an area to new kinds of plants that couldn't grow in the shade. And after nibbling the leaves and bark off branches, beavers use what's left to build a dam in flowing water. That creates a pond surrounded by marshy land. The area becomes a home for many kinds of animals besides the beavers: frogs, turtles, otters, salamanders, raccoons, water birds like herons and ducks, and more. In long dry periods, the beaver's pond may be the sole water source keeping animals in the area alive. Beavers are North America's biggest kind of rodent, animals whose front teeth grow continuously. Beavers are interesting in a lot of other ways. Beavers' long, sharp upper and lower incisors have a super hard coating containing iron. This makes them look rust orange. The backs of these teeth are softer and wear away faster than the fronts, so chewing and tooth grinding keeps the big incisors sharp. Beavers don't eat wood, only inner bark, leaves, stems, tubers, and roots. And to get what their bodies need out of this tough food, they have to digest it twice. The first time through, their digestive systems only begins to break the food down. Then their wastes are soft, green pellets that the beavers eat. The second time through, their digestive systems finish breaking down the food. Then the beaver's wastes brown. Beavers are perfectly adapted for working underwater. A second set of eyelids act as goggles, and beavers' lips can be pulled together behind their big incisors so they can bite and swim with branches in their mouth without getting a mouthful of water.